Hi and welcome to Excel Woman with Tobi, where we equip, empower and encourage you for success in business and life. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, I'll be answering your questions. But before we go on to the first question, I would just like to say thank you so much for always sending us your questions and your suggestions. We really do appreciate them. Keep them coming. Now going on to our first question of the day. Our first question of the day is, how do I manage my business as it starts growing to a large scale? Is our question from Olu in Lagos, Nigeria. Olu, great question. Thank you so much for sending in your question. How do you manage your business as it grows to a large scale? I would say people and systems. So you need more people. Depending on how large your business has now grown, you might need to start having departments. You might need a sales department. You might need a human resources department. You might need a marketing department. You might need a finance department. You might need an administrative department. All depends on what large scale area we're talking about. Also, it does not need to be a department from the beginning. So let's assume that you're starting from being a one-woman business. It might mean that you will get one other person to handle your finance, one other person to handle your admin, one other person to handle your social media, one other person to handle sales. So basically, you might need other people to help you. And as the business continues to grow, then each department might need to grow bigger as well. So that's the people section of things. In terms of systems and tools, again, you might need finance tools like a database. You might need social media tools to start, for example, tracking your social media, which you should also be doing even before your business becomes large scale. You might need to start scheduling your social media posts if you were not doing that before. Now that you're large scale, you might not have time to do that manually at specific times of the day. Again, a CRM tool, sales tool, financial tools. So various tools and systems will help you to be able to catch up with yourself and business as it grows. So, Olu, the answer to your question is more people and more systems and tools to help you. I hope that helps, Olu. Going on to our next question. How do I identify the right employees that understand my business vision? This question is from Yemi in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much, Yemi, for sending in your question. And that's a great question as well. I would say pray about it. So in all things, we should be able to speak to God about it. A lot of times we think that, oh, this is not as serious, I should not have to pray about this. But there's nothing that we ask God that is a bother to him. He cares about everything that concerns us. You know, whatever thing that you think is so small at this moment is important to him as well. I know it sounds like a cliche, but I've experienced it and I know it. We forget sometimes as human beings. But I just want to remind you today that you can pray about it, especially getting the right employees, because you just never know. Practically speaking, what you can do is to interview these people. Interview them. Share your vision with them. Even the Bible tells us that you should write the vision down, make it plain, so that those who see it can run with it. So make the vision plain. Write it down. You know, speak about it as well, because as they hear it from you, then they can sense your passion and it can resonate with them. So share your vision, and you can tell when you're speaking to people if they actually catch that vision. So interview them. Find out what plans do they have for their own lives. Do they come in line with what you're planning to do? So those are things that you can look at. Also, there can be a probationary period where they're on a trial period for a month, so 4 weeks, or for 8 weeks, or for 3 months. So that would have been agreed at the time when they're coming into your employment, so that the employee understands that you're on probation, so that if during the probation period things are not working out as they should and you think this is not the right employee for me, then you guys can call it a day and say goodbye to one another on good terms, hopefully. So, Yemi, The answer to your question on how to identify the right employees is pray about it. nothing is too small to pray about. Share the vision, make it plain through writing, through speaking, and then make use of a probationary period where you and your employees can get to know each other and find out if you are right for each other. The next question today is, how can I get help with my business activities at an affordable rate? I love that question, because it's important that we don't try to do everything ourselves as business owners, especially if you're just starting in business or you're a one-man business. As the business continues to grow, and even before the business continues to grow, it can become overwhelming. You are the finance officer, you are the marketing officer, you are the administrator. Sometimes you are even the person that fixes laptops, if you are that way inclined. So it's important for you to be able to bring in help. And I know a lot of us, shy away from that because we don't want to spend more money. Why don't you look out for students who might not want to, who might not be asking such high rates, who might not be asking for such high rates from you. So look for students, look for volunteers who are willing to gain experience from you. For example, are you an event planner? There's somebody else who does not know how to decorate a venue. There's somebody else who does not know how to decorate the chairs. There's somebody else who does not know how to organize, but they love what you do and they would like to do the same thing. Then give them the experience. Let them volunteer with you and help you. And that way you're helping each other. They're learning and they're helping you. You get the help that you need. As I mentioned, look for students. Look for friends who might be willing to help you with their time as well, just until the business grows to a stage where you can actually afford, to hire employees. So the answer to that question is, look for students, look for volunteers, look for people who are looking for experience where you can help each other. Our next question from Abiola in Lagos, Nigeria is it advisable to outsource? If yes, how do I go about it? I say yes, it is advisable to outsource some parts of your business activities. For example, as a social media consultant myself, I have organizations and clients who outsource their social media management, strategy, and training of their employees to me. They don't have to think about that. One of my clients today, I was talking to him about what I shared with his staff. He was very happy to listen to me, but I knew that he had other things on his mind, which included sales targets that he was trying to reach. But having outsourced the social media to me, he wanted that to be basically off his table. Not that he didn't appreciate what I had done, he was happy about it, but I know that because he's got other things on his plate at the moment, that's the reason why social media has been outsourced to me. So just as with any other thing, so finance, you want somebody else to do your accounts for you instead of you, banging your head trying to crunch the numbers and make the figures work. Are there things that you're wasting your time doing? Administrative work that you can get a student to do. Sometimes you can even get your older children to do and give them just a little bit of money and they don't mind. Or your younger cousins. These are things that I have done at various stages in my business that I'm talking to you about today. So make use of the people around you. They want the experience as well, and they're happy to earn a little income as well while they're helping you. Also, outsource doesn't have to be just to the people around you. You can look to outsourcing internationally as well. So you can outsource to India like the large corporations do, or to the Philippines. Those are not the only areas that you can outsource to, but those are some areas that I'm personally aware of. So you can outsource. There are also a few sites online where you can get things done for you at affordable rates. So for example, a website called Fiverr, so that is Fiverr, you get most things done for you for $5. Are you looking to design a Facebook header, a banner, a YouTube banner, whatever it is that you want to do, you will find somebody on Fiverr who can do it for you. They might charge a higher rate for faster delivery or for additional services that you want, but for the basic service, it's a Fiverr. So that's another way to outsource. So I say, Abiola, yes, it's a good idea to outsource so that you're not overwhelmed and you can focus on the important things in your business. And I've just mentioned a few ways to go about it: family, friends, people who are looking for experience, and also websites like Fiverr. When you're also looking for international websites, basically to outsource to, make sure it's an established one. Look at their reviews and their testimonials so that you're going for the right website, so the right organization to use. Our next question here is, how do I manage my international customers? A fantastic one. I would personally say, get to know their culture. Get to know the way they work, so that when you're working with them, you're working in line with what they're used to. Use the language that they're used to, and don't use language that might probably be something that's rude in their language. It's not a big deal to you, but it might be rude to their language. The bottom line here is, get to know these customers. If you're starting to have international customers from a particular continent, from a particular country, from a particular region, then get to know them so that you can satisfy them and you can give them the good service that they desire, and so that they can continue to do business with you. Also have terms and conditions to work with each other so that you're both on the same page. What are the terms and conditions of this partnership? They might need to sign this, especially if it's a service, if you're offering them a service, or it might be something that they need to click and agree to on your website. So put the terms and conditions in writing for them to see. Have agreements on how you work together. For example, there might be something that it's legal in your country of origin where you are, and it's not the same in theirs. So make sure that you are operating on the same wavelength. So today we've been answering Olu's question from Lagos, Nigeria, on how do I manage my business as it grows to a large scale. So we talked about people and systems. So new departments for finance, for HR, new systems and tools like CRM tools, which is customer relationship management tools, sales tools, and so on. We also answered Yemi's question from Lagos, Nigeria. Yemi was asking, how do I identify the right employees that understand my business vision, so that I understand her business vision? We talked about praying first. Nothing is too small to pray about. We talked about sharing your vision with these potential employees. We talked about interviewing them, and we talked about making use of a probationary period, which is a trial period where you see if you can work together well and they have actually caught the vision of your business or organization. We went on to answer the next question, which was, how can I get help with my business activities at an affordable rate? We talked about speaking to students who might be interested in working with you at an affordable rate, making use of volunteers and people who are seeking experience in your area of expertise. We then went on to answer Abiola's question from Lagos, Nigeria on, is it advisable to outsource, which I answered yes, yes, yes to. And he says, if yes, how do I go about it? And we talked about checking online and make sure you go for established organizations, making sure you go for established organizations, looking at their reviews and testimonials so that you are in the right place and not using organizations that might not really work for you. We went on to answer our last question about how to manage international customers, and we mentioned having terms and conditions and agreements in place, and also having regular meetings. It can be weekly. I would advise minimum weekly if they're actually a service, if it's actually a service that you're providing for them, so that you are on the same wavelength, you're at par with things that you're doing. If it's not a service, if it's just products, supplier, then it can be fortnightly, but have regular meetings so that you're always on the same page with what you're doing. On that note, I would like to say thank you so much for joining us today. We've been answering your questions ranging from finding the right employees to outsourcing. I hope I've been able to help you today. Please continue to send in your questions and suggestions to us via email. Remember to check our website, excelwoman.tv, where we have loads of resources to help you. Until next time, it's been me, Tobi Show. God bless you and see you next time.